I'm Brownfield's Meghan Grebner. With me today is Dr. Andy Baker, Director and Professor of Ag Education at Western Illinois University. Dr. Baker, thank you so much for taking some time to talk with us today.
Thank you, Megan. Appreciate the time.
After 26 years, you are retiring from your position at WIU. Really, you've had an incredible career there. I was at Western Illinois University and spent you in your classes as well. And Cindy Young, who is also from Western Illinois University. So we have a staff who loves the university and the ag department there. Talk to me a little bit about what brought you to WIU and a little bit about your background.
Absolutely. Started my teaching career several years ago, teaching high school agriculture in a town that's called Dearborn, Missouri, and the school district at that time was North Platte High School or school district. Found my first opportunity to be a high school ag teacher there. Taught there several years, and from there decided to get married, and we moved to Columbia, Missouri, which I started my career in the USDA system. I was a state employee there at the University of Missouri. Did a lot of research with maize, and we were working on the stacks that we see today. We were working on corn borer, corn rootworm, and stalk and root strength. I was under 3 scientists there. From there, I took a job at Murray State for 2 years, and I had a colleague there at Murray that went to Western, got his master's there, and the position opened up at Western, and was the only job that I was fortunate to secure that position as the sole faculty member in the agricultural education program here at Western, and been here for 26 years. And it has been kind of a crazy career path, but enjoyed every minute of it. We have certainly been probably more influenced or heavily on females entering the career. When the time I arrived in 1999, we just had a handful of female ag teachers, and now it's pretty much covering the landscape, as they say. Currently, I have, I believe, 3 males in the program out of close to 25. So the demographics certainly have changed. Some of the other things is students today. I have several students that have no high school agricultural background, coming from schools that didn't have a high school ag program. So really, they're a blank sheet of paper. Trying to give them the opportunities to enhance their degree program by giving them professional development opportunities to go to workshops, things of that nature. Talking to past alumni that had ag ed degrees prior to me coming here, you find quite a few of those individuals have secured jobs in ag business, right? And at that time, that was probably a path that many ag ed majors took at that time, because, again, a lot of companies were looking for individuals that could manage a variety of personalities in the workplace. And any individual that spent 16 weeks during student teaching and managing 100 plus personalities, those individuals were sought after by industry. Today, I think we kind of turned the curve, and I think we're having a larger percentage of what I would say the new beginning pre-service teachers taking a position in the career field that they studied for. I think a variety of variables made that possible. I think the GAST funding in Illinois, which is growing ag science teachers, has helped in recruitment and retention. And I also think the 3 circles money and funds that are used here in the state of Illinois have made the salary more competitive for our students to secure jobs as teachers. So I think there's a couple variables that certainly have changed the landscape, as I would say, in agricultural education, especially in Illinois. As we continue to grow programs in Illinois, we still have that supply chain that needs to be filled, and we try to match whatever we can as far as when we build and add more programs in the state of Illinois. So I think the other piece of landscape that has changed is we're seeing programs now have multiple teachers instead of singular teacher programs. And I think that's wonderful too. So we're starting to see some of our teachers be just middle school ag teachers, and working on those 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, getting them prepared for their high school career as an FFA member and as an ag student.
Knowing that there's a greater separation from agriculture and backgrounds in agriculture today, starting that education element in that middle school range, how does that change not only potentially the pipeline for teachers, but the understanding and the passion for agriculture and other ag careers, as you've seen that outreach and that education range change?
Yeah, I think any program out there, agriculture program out there that has the opportunity to either teach a mid-level middle school program, 8th grade class or 7th grade class, you're starting to see growth in the FFA members down the road. So if you're an ag teacher and strictly just teaching freshmen through seniors, you may not see the growth that you would if you had a teacher that had the opportunity to teach a middle school course, or just a middle school teacher that has that responsibility of just teaching 6 through 8. Good example here at Macomb. When I first came here, Macomb High School did not have an agriculture program, and I was a part of a committee that did get that program established. It's gone from 1 teacher to 3 teachers. The membership in that program has just escalated. So you're starting to see some of these programs, and I think a lot of it also has to do with the state of Illinois and other vocational areas not being able to find teachers like industrial ed. And you see a lot of those programs closing, but then they have a laboratory, either metal or woods, whatever. And when they can't find an industrial arts teacher, they're going to hire a second ag teacher. So I think you see some growth in those areas as well. So that just goes to show you the power of agricultural education in this state and its relevancy. And more of these high school programs, even in some of these metropolitan areas, are starting to grow. And I'm thrilled to be able to see that growth in this state and be a part of it over the 26 years.
What has been the highlight of what are some highlights of your 26 years at Western Illinois?
Well, first thing we were announced as the Region 4 Outstanding Post-Secondary Agriculture Program a couple of years ago. I've had several students that also have been Region 4 winners. I've also had students from outside the state of Illinois. So I've had some graduates go to other states and win awards there as well. Also, probably the biggest compliment I think anybody could have is that somebody wants your job. And so I've had several students that have gone on and pursued their PhDs in agricultural education. Anytime that you have a student that wants to be like you, I think is a huge compliment. So I've had several students that have gone on, and one currently is in the system. And, it's just a thrill to be able to see your students grow from that aspect and want to become, a teacher educator and pursue that as their career.
There is no greater compliment than that. When you think about the future of the ag education program at Western Illinois, you set such a strong foundation for this program. Where are you excited, or what are you excited to see in the future?
Well, hopefully we can continue down the same path and continue to do some of the things that I've established 26 years ago. And some of those things were to actually establish a field experience in every one of my courses that I teach. So when I attended the University of Missouri, the first time I had the opportunity to meet or be a part of any student engagement was my student teaching semester. And when I graduated, I said, if I ever had the opportunity to lead my own program, that was one thing I was going to change. And so for my students, either it's a couple days of observations in an ag program or being able to teach elementary students and be agricultural advocacy type education, or actually teaching high school students prior to student teaching, all of those experiences solidifies for my students why they're pursuing this career. And so hopefully we can continue to do some of those things. I think this program, the essence of it is being engaged. I haven't even thought about how many hours I spend with every one of my graduates before they graduate, but that would probably be mind-boggling for me if I would sit down and actually calculate how many hours I spent with them. And that's like student-teacher visits. So for every student-teacher, I make 3 visits in their 16-week period. We go out and we have all these field experiences. So, everything that we do is really set around trying to produce a career high school agriculture teacher. So we spend some time with AET, and we spend some time on submitting their strategic plan. And it's really like the how-to or enhancing what you have to do in your first couple of years as a teacher to really get your feet grounded and surviving those first couple of years. So hopefully we can continue down that road. Again, being a small program, and we are a small program in the state of Illinois, but I think our graduates speak 1,000 words for what the program has established and what it's done for them.
While you are leaving Western Illinois after 26 years, you're not finished in your career towards agriculture. What's next for you, Dr. Baker?
Yeah, so I call it more like semi-retirement. I'm going to try my hand at retail agribusiness. So June 2nd, I start my job working with my brother-in-law at a retail fertilizer and chemical facility. It's coming full circle back for me, as this is the same town that I started my high school teaching career. So Dearborn, Missouri, I'm coming back. We have a lot of family back there, siblings, nephews, nieces, a lot of things. So we've been gone for 34 years. So it's our time to return back home and kind of start a new career. So I'll have a steep learning curve. It's a little bit different than what I've been doing recently, but my experience with human resource management is certainly going to be, a strength that I'll be able to carry into this. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to kind of moving back home and being around family again. But as I tell people, I said, I'm not changing my phone number, so I'm a text or a phone call away. So for my students and alumni and all the relationships that I've established, I'll just be a phone call or a text away.
Dr. Baker, congratulations on a wonderful career, and thank you for your service and your dedication to shaping the future ag educators of this world.
Thank you very much, Megan. I appreciate the time.
I'm Meghan Grebner for Brownfield.